this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. Please be seated. And welcome to the October RBB CSC School Board meeting. This is our regular meeting, and sorry, I need a drink. I just ran. I was not having dinner or anything to make myself late. I am, as a non-voting member, on the Ellettsville's new redevelopment commission. And they had their first organizational meeting at 5 o'clock, so I'm running from there.
Sounds familiar.
I got through most of it. So, okay. Please let the record reflect that Angie Jacobs is not present this evening, and the other board members are here. So we have a quorum of 4. And are there any visitor comments? Okay, nobody signed up for that. So we'll go straight to the Mustang moment. Dr. Sanders.
Yes, I think you're going to enjoy this one. What's that? No, I don't. That would have been a good idea. No, but tonight I want you to enjoy something that I got to enjoy not too long ago. I was called over to be, and I was given a report by our business leaders who run the coffee shop, and I just asked them right then to be able to come to you guys tonight and present an update and their vision of where they want to take the Coffee Corral. So I'm going to turn it over to Stacia Myers first.
Hello, I'm Stacia Myers, and I am the gal that is the luckiest person in the world that gets to run this coffee shop here at our high school. And so I'm going to introduce them and let them take over the show. These are our managers. I have Jackson Klinger. This is his second year with us. I have Xander Fry and Alan Martindale. They are all seniors. I am really sad that they're all seniors because they do excellent work. Like I could never brag on them enough, really. And they're all graduating. And so whoever is going to come in next year is going to have very, very big shoes to fill. And I'm sure you're going to see what I mean as soon as they start speaking to you this evening. So I'll let them come up, and they have a presentation for you.
All right, so as Mrs. Myers said, we're the managers of the Edgewood Coffee Corral, and we're here to present to you some of the things that we've been working on over the past couple months, I suppose, since school started, and here they are. So the first point that we'd like to make is that the Coffee Corral is more than just a coffee shop. So the purpose behind the coffee shop is not just to serve drinks to students, although that has been a big part of the business. It's a necessary part to be a coffee shop. But the real goal is to give students the opportunity to learn how a business works on a real life environment. Students who are interested in business can work on that aspect as managers, as we all have. Ms. Tucker's marketing class allows students interested in marketing to market for a real business, and you'll see some of their materials they've created for us later. Students who are interested in nutrition have the opportunity to work on recipes that fit within certain standards. And students who need an opportunity to work but may not want to or be able to find a job outside of school, they're able to gain real-world work experience here at the school. And so it may not be readily apparent just from coming into the shop and ordering a drink, but there's a real important educational value to what we do at the Edgewood Coffee Corral. And so here are some of the different areas that our Coffee Corral involves as a part of our business. So we have the student employment. That includes any of the workers that are in the coffee shop serving the drinks on a day-to-day basis. Mrs. Wilson and the ILC, our Innovative Learning Center, will show you some of the things that they've made for us later. Mr. Whittemore and his bakers are working on food items for us to serve in the coffee shop. Our marketing classes create our marketing materials, and then Mr. Tucker's kids also have an opportunity to be involved as well.
So, involving community work-based classes and preparing students for post-secondary development. Involving Mr. Tucker's students has given them many new opportunities. With us, they can work on managing cash registers, customer service skills, making drinks, cleaning, and coffee shop laundry. Involvement in the coffee shop gives them transferable skills that they can use after high school. And we have had a previous employee who worked with us and has been hired in the cafeteria at the junior high school.
So some of the Innovative Learning Center partnership items that we have on the far left, those are all made from plastics that were taken from the environmental club. So we're working with clubs, we're working with the ILC, and we had a problem we have a limited amount of space, and so they were able to make us different cup holders out of plastics. They've also been able to make some of our uniforms, like the hats, and then they've made all of our menu boards.
So we also are involving the marketing team, and they are creating various different marketing materials for us. So for instance, the Maniac Mustang drink was a promotion we did, and then we've created this, the marketing team. We claim no credit for this. The marketing team created this mascot. Specifically, one of our students, Genevieve, has hand drew this Mustang, and you may see more of him later in her great work, but it's kind of a mascot for us, as well as the actual mascot that they have out marketing for us at the football games, as well as the images of the caramel frappuccino and the lemonade. There are the images that are displayed on our ordering kiosks and within our app, and they also create promotional images with these photographs as well. And here's some more items that our marketing team has worked on. So front and center there for you is the Friendly Superintendent Special. We did a promotion at the Edgewood Showcase with a drink that our friendly and superintendent happens to enjoy. And so they created that with a photo shoot with him and promoted that on social media, which that's what these other images are, is a big part of what they do is our social media presence. So they create these images for us to post on social media, and those images of the chai latte and pumpkin spice frappe are some of our seasonal beverages, which are also hand-drawn by Genevieve, and those are also for our Instagram pages as well.
So our goal for the coffee shop is for it to be as big and as great as it can be. And with that, we have a vision that includes things like a subscription service, serving food, delivery and the use of a student-built app throughout the day, being open during club day, possible expansion into the junior high school, and special event days like the Monster Bash that we are doing this year at EPS and EIS. And then way down in the future, we have visions of a food truck that we can use at festivals, fairs, and other special events.
So integrating our student-built app. So last year we got an app and we're actually implementing it this year. So the IT department put the app on all of the Chromebooks for the students to order during the school day. It allows students to order ahead on their Chromebooks and pick up their drinks outside of class periods. So if there's 5 minutes left into class and I don't have any work, I can log onto my Chromebook and I can order a drink, and then during the passing period, I can come and collect it.
And another initiative we're working towards is doing deliveries around campus. We have in the past had 2 delivery times during the day. We'd like to expand to 3, which would require us to have employees available all day as well. And the new golf cart will be able to make this process more efficient and will allow students to make the deliveries, we're hoping. And this allows Sammy to stay behind and monitor the coffee shop as well.
So we are currently working towards implementing our all-day schedule. It will provide an opportunity for students to be in the coffee shop during the school day. It's a great place to study and work on group projects and just casually hanging out with friends. We have a bunch of furniture that we have purchased, and this has been one of the visions of the coffee shop since its inception. Being open all day also facilitates the use of work-based learning skills. The coffee shop was opened to teach these skills at multiple levels, and one important thing is that all other goals and visions that we have feed into being able to be open all day. And it also allows us to involve more students in the coffee shop throughout a wider variety of roles.
So some of our future offerings, we're working with Coach Fisher right now to create a protein drink for students to have after their workouts. But we also have a lot of monthly and seasonal offerings that we want to start coming out with this year, and we can reintroduce those in the following years, just like a Starbucks. They have the same Christmas drink come out every single year, and we want to have a fall drink come out every year and a Christmas drink come out every year.
So part of our vision for the end of the 2024 to 2025 school year, we hope to have these following things implemented. We'd like to be open all day. We'd like to have our subscription service implemented within the high school. We'd like to optimize our scheduling processes. We're working through that now, just trying to be more efficient. We want our app to be fully functional and in use by customers. We have a school day sales goal for $30,000 on the year, which is not including extracurricular activities, but we currently are on pace to meet that. We will introduce food options through a new bakery division, as I mentioned before, working with Mr. Whittemore. We're looking into NIL advertising with Edgewood athletes as well as our marketing department. And we will have a monthly email blast informing the corporation about new products coming out very soon as well.
So at the end of the 2026-2027 school year, which is 3 years away, we hope to have a scholarship for select coffee shop employees. We want to continue involvement in other school events, like open houses, Santa's Workshop, and Monster Bash, which we have worked on and are starting this year. We want to work with the EPS and EIS ambassadors to bring the coffee shop in some capacity to the elementary schools periodically. We want to use our profits to give philanthropically to the community. We want to sponsor student entrance to several athletic events, and we want to do a brand overhaul.
And then vision for the end of the 28-29 school year. So we'll all be gone by this point, but we really hope to have purchased a food truck, and that would allow us to participate in a lot of different events like the 4-H fair and the fall festival that we don't currently have the ability to participate in. And if there's any questions.
Your replacements?
We have one student currently. Are we allowed to say who it is? Ava Norton. We are working with her. We believe that she is going to be at least one person that is going to take over our jobs. Last year, it was only Jackson was the only intern that we had working during the school day, and it was tough for him to do that, and even with the three of us, it's still a lot of workload to handle. So we are going to work on trying to get, one or two more managers that will be able to work with us next year.
So what are some of your thoughts for careers, and how has this played a role in what that might be, or how you do it?
Yeah, so I want to go into finance, and I want to go to the Kelly School of Business at IU. So I'm managing most of the finances for the Coffee Corral. So I think that's like a direct one-to-one correlation what I'm trying to get at.
I don't have an exact career chosen yet, but I plan on going to the Kelly School at IU as well, and I'm going to major in finance or accounting. the first few years at Kelly, they have all the classes in every reach of business. So I'm hoping there I can kind of figure out what I want to do in the future.
So a year ago when I started talking about being involved with this, I thought I was going to go into business as well. I've since kind of changed what I'm going to do. I believe I'm going into engineering now as well, but I'm considering, going on to get my MBA after that and having the experience of managing a business and managing groups of people and understanding how an organization with multiple different branches works, I think will be important to me wherever my career takes me as well.
Their estimated profits for this year?
I saw the sales, I didn't see profits.
Yeah, it is a sales.
Sales.
Okay, all right.
$30,000 in profits would be amazing. Yes.
Payroll? I know, how does that work? And I'm trying to remember.
So
Are we
currently,
paying through the corporation, or are you guys paying your own people?
currently the corporation pays them, but we're
Okay.
working this year to hopefully pay our own employees. That's why we really want to start optimizing the scheduling for everybody. And I'm trying to make sure that we have enough money and that we're bringing in enough money continually that we can keep paying them down the road.
Which is where the all-day schedule comes in. We believe if we're able to be open all day, that will help us increase our sales and that we will have more money to be able to pay our employees.
It'd be good to do like a mock payroll. It's just so you guys will learn how to do that.
And we've looked into that kind of budgeting to see with our current employment how much that would cost. We don't have those numbers for you right now, but we have looked into it, especially Jackson is the one that handles a lot of
You
it.
guys learn about workers' comp. If you were a big biz, you'd have your own workers' comp and all that, but you're under the corporation umbrella now, so that saves you, that makes your bottom line look better. But those are good things for you guys to.
Started working with Matt a couple weeks ago on the very first stages. Yeah.
Met with him a couple of times, and it was really interesting. So we sat down. He was trying to learn how to do some projections and push out, and he was working on hypotheticals and
Right.
different things like that. And so I had showed him a couple of different things, like what I give to you guys and how I work through that. And I was like, why don't you try this? So come back to me in a week. And he comes back, and he's got statistical regressions in there. He's got all these other things going, and it was really impressive. And he started to take what I had given him and run with it, put his own spin on it, because they have a lot of desire to continue to grow or the things that they want to accomplish. And so they're very eager to continue to learn and do those things and put them into practice. And so it was really neat. So we spent probably less than an hour and a half together going through stuff, and they come back with, here's my first glance at this, and I put this together in 45 minutes or whatever it was, and it goes to show how intelligent our students are and that they can do really difficult, complex things, and their ingenuity and all of those things. So it was actually a lot of fun for me and refreshing, just sitting down doing those things, and someone being a little bit nerdy like I am sometimes, working through those. I was like, I get kind of excited when I'm this close on a projection, and he was kind of talking about some of those things too. So it's really cool to see the direction that they're going with some of those things and the effort that they're putting in.
Nerdy's not bad. Nerdy's okay. Nerdy's okay.
And I want to say, wow, I am really impressed. I'm really, your demeanor, your presentation was fantastic. Your dress was wonderful. I appreciate your professionalism. It's just fantastic to know that you're a part of RBB schools. So,
Have you got the health department yet? Okay, so that's good. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. And you guys are going through some problem solving right now with the golf cart thing, as far as getting that training and all that. And that's good to see, because that gives you the chance to see how the liability part works of those type of things. So I think that's a good training for you guys as well.
And in fact, one of the things that I'm working on right now is figuring out processes to conduct my own sort of health inspection, so that we can go in and make sure all these things are squared away before any higher authority comes in that could cause us any trouble. So that's one of the things that I'm working on right now as well.
Very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Too.
Oh, thank you.
Going to the state, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool deal, so, neat. All right. Yeah, you can freaky fast delivery now. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on to our consent agenda. We have approval of minutes. On September 10th, there was an executive session. On September 25th, there was a public budget hearing. And on September 25th was our regular board meeting. So there's minutes for those 3 dates. They have the treasurer's report for September and claims, Mr. Nerl.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gross wages on September 13th, 2024 is $788,079.68. Gross wages on September 27th, 2024, $805,227.04. For gross wages mini payroll, September 28th, 2024, $2,656.96 for a total of $1,595,953.68. For claims and prepays from 9/1 of '24 to 9/30 of '24, $1,503,833.14. For regular claims vouchers for October 28, 2024 is $411,150.51 for a total of $1,914,983.65 for a grand total of $3,510,947.33. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we also have personnel, resignations, retirements, non-renewals, leaves, and terminations, C1 through 13, and D, personnel appointments and transfers, D1 through 32. And Dr. Sanders, can you tell us about the trip?
Yes, I think you'll remember last year you approved our journalism class from the junior high to go to the National Journalism Conference in Boston. And next spring, it's going to be in Seattle, Washington, April 23rd through the 27th. Stephanie Ayer is here tonight. If you have any questions, or Stephanie, if you want to get up and say anything, it's up to you. Okay.
Journalism teacher over at the Edgewood Junior High. Last year, like Dr. Sanders said, we were able to take 5 students to Boston, Massachusetts for the journalism convention, which is geared toward both high school and middle school journalists. It was a really neat experience for them to learn more about the journalism process, all things from ethics to marketing. And this year we were able to expand that invitation to 9 students, not just in my journalism program, but also in the Edge Media program and also the yearbook as well. So we're taking all of our journalism advisors, including yearbook and Edge Media, along with 9 students. We're going to do that based on a lottery system. We have more than 9, unfortunately. Kids who went last year are given the invitation, but they are going to pay their own way for the most part this year. And then, yeah, so we'll have 9 scholarships available that, through a grant that was written for those kiddos to go to Seattle with us.
This is flying in and
Yeah, we're gonna hitchhike all the way out there, so.
because I didn't know if you would
No,
have
yeah,
trips.
flights, and we are looking at direct flights again. That just seems to ease logistics a little bit. We leave on a Wednesday night, so they go to school Wednesday, we fly out Wednesday evening, get in really late Wednesday evening, and then have most of the day Thursday to recover. The convention starts with the keynote speaker and registration on Thursday evening. Convention is all day Friday, most of the day Saturday, and then we fly home on Sunday as well. And we are scheduled to get in at a reasonable hour so the kids can recover enough to be back to school on Monday morning, so.
Asked because I didn't know if you'd have transportation available while you're there. One time I was a guardian ad litem for a little boy, and his mom lived in the Spokane, and so I flew out there and I stayed an extra day and looked around because I'd never been to the Northwest before. So if there's any way you guys can get out and explore a little bit, I would recommend doing that because man, those trees are tall out there. I mean, the waterfalls were amazing. It's just such an interesting state. You've got quasi-deserts and mountains and temperate rainforest, and there's just so much there.
Yeah, we do build in a little bit of extra time for what we call excursions. And so last year we were able to see a ton of things out in the Boston area, which also just added to the experience. And so we're hoping, we're in the planning process of that right now. I myself have never been to Seattle, so we're trying to get just some suggestions. And we usually pose a couple of, different kinds of experiences to the kids and let them choose, just because things that grown-ups want to do or we think that kids want to do is not necessarily what they want to do. And so we give them a couple of different options. But we're hoping one big thing to be able to do is go out to Mount Rainier National Park. And so that one's pretty close and reasonable. So we rent 2 cars, which is usually enough. I hope it's enough. I didn't think about that. We'll rent enough spaces and cars for every kid to have a seatbelt, and we take them on the little excursions, which is usually the best. So we looked at some different transportation options last year and renting vehicles. We rented 2 pretty big vans. That was the best option and price-wise, and just getting everybody going to where we were going. So yeah, it was really neat. So if you have any other suggestions, yeah, we'll be happy to take them.
The ocean too.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that one before, so that was great.
Yeah.
So, good.
How many adults are going to be there?
We're doing 3 teachers for sure, and then so we're gonna invite the kids. It's our advanced journalism students. I believe right now I have 25. I'm pretty sure Mr. Greil has around the same amount that he's gonna invite. They're gonna go on a lottery system, and so once they get all the information, know the logistics, things we're gonna be doing, they'll enter into a lottery and then also have the option for their parents to chaperone, and then we'll select out of those people based on all of the things. That's not necessarily a lottery system. That's more, we have a lot of teacher kids. And so last year we were able to take Danielle Butler, who is already an employee of the corporation, which worked out really well. And so that would be kind of, we haven't worked out completely that, but we are inviting chaperones. We're hoping to get at least 2 chaperones to go along with us that are parents, and they pay their own way as far as getting out there and hotels and things too. So just kind of seeing who wants to come, who's able to come, and we kind of work out all of the arrangements that way with that. So if that makes sense. So in total, we're hoping 5. So
At the convention center, or where's this?
yeah,
workshop?
so they always have, the hotel is connected to the facility. And so last year, most of the time, we didn't even have to leave the hotel where the convention actually was. It was just, take the elevators down. We always made sure that they were going with at least a buddy, but mostly with an adult. And they just tended to go together most of the time, so we didn't run into that. But it's nice just at a couple of points, we had a couple of adult things we had to go do for advisor meetings, and it was nice having the parent chaperones there just to kind of escort the kids from A to B to get them here and there, even though they weren't a part of the convention. They were around just for some of those logistics as well, so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
The consent agenda?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Matt, before we get into the assistant superintendent report, because I don't want to have to do this during my board member comments, I would like to give a quick overview of what happened at the meeting right before this. Again, it's the Ellisville Redevelopment Commission. It was their first organizational meeting, and they are interested in creating a TIF district that is tax increment financing. And what it does is, say there's property in there that's worth $100,000 when it goes into the TIF district, and then you build on it, and now it's worth $300,000. Well, that increase of $200,000, the taxes that would be paid on that based on the rates, all get captured by the Redevelopment Commission. and then they're supposed to use that to like build roads or sewers or whatever it needs to help benefit the area. And somebody came up and asked, if we finished the business, about, does this affect the taxpayer? And the first response I got was that no, because you're just paying on your assessed value, so it doesn't affect you. But I did explain to them that when the Monroe County Redevelopment Commission tried to extend their bond life so they could extend the life of their TIF, that I spoke out against it, because when the TIF dies, all that money that they're capturing now goes to the underlying district. So like the school, the town of Ellisville's not, so the schools, the library board, the county, all that money flows to them, and it would actually lower people's tax rates. Now, I'm not saying TIFs are a bad thing. TIFs can be good if, development wouldn't occur unless they had it. If you had the TIF, so you could put in infrastructure and stuff. Like the bridge that's going in at Sunrise Greetings Road, that's paid for by TIF dollars. The road that was put in from Hart Street to close to Ivy Tech, Cook area, that was paid from the TIF district that was the bond that they were selling. So I just encourage them to be responsible about it. Even though I didn't get any real support for that at all, they did it anyway. They all said do something for the schools. And that's where our grant from the RDC came from, because all the governing bodies say do something for the schools. So we looked into it, and we had a discussion, and Jennifer Barrett said, I know something you can do with it. And that's what started the grant process, and that's how we started STEM, STEAM, and it's led to the Coffee Corral. So that's why I wanted to pull it in, that has been a benefit. We just need to make sure that the Ellettsville RDC recognizes the schools and the needs of the schools as well as they go through this. And so I got a little advantage since I was on, Brad's doing it now, but I was on the Monroe County RDC, and it's a non-voting member, but I was on that for quite a while. I've learned a lot about how they work. So they kept asking me questions. So anyway, I just wanted to say that it's out there. Just, if you hear people talk about it, I would suggest people at home everywhere that they just ask them to be reasonable about what they're doing with that. So I'm sorry. With that, I guess it was kind of financial related. We'll turn it over to Mr. Irwin.
All right, so for my assistant superintendent's report, you guys have the cash flows there, and I'll run through these. The education fund, again, we're in great position for year end. Numbers look for year-end cash balances look a little lower than what I provided you last month. Projections were a little lower than actuals. Nothing that is out of the ordinary. As far as just costs and those go, you have a lot of different things, whether it's hourly employees or different things like that, ins and outs that causes that. But again, we're still in great position. Continuing the work on 2025 projections, continually adjusting those, and in those numbers that you guys see in the education fund, building in changes to staff pay and benefits that we're looking to propose in future board meetings, and that we're working through actively with negotiations with our teachers association as well. So still in great shape there, and keeping those in mind as we look at numbers there, that those things are in consideration and reflected inside of those numbers. Debt service fund, no revenue in this fund. We paid a small trustee bank fee during the month. But again, this is the type of activity that you see throughout this fund throughout the year. You only see a little bit of activity in this fund during certain times of the year when we're paying off or receiving tax dollars, or we're paying off the debts that we have within that fund. So nothing is different there, much of anything other than that trustee fee from last month. And then the operations fund, again, very similar to what you saw last month, remain very, very accurate there. Remaining appropriations still adequate for the remaining year-end expenses that we planned for here before December 31st. Again, trying to factor in expenses as far as what there's a decent amount of staffing that's paid for in the operations fund. So again, looking at staff pay and benefit proposals that we're hoping to bring to you in future board meetings and factoring those into the numbers that you see. Increases in insurance, different things like that have come across. Again, working on the 2025 projections within that fund as well, continuing to cue that in. As information continues to come available, it just helps us kind of continue to update and cue in on those numbers a little bit. But again, things are looking great there, and we're in good position. So we've been getting quite a bit done here in the buildings, whether it's come from the operations fund or just the construction projects and stuff that are going on, upkeep around the building and stuff. I actually was just reviewing with Arnold a long list of things that we had tasked around the corporation since the beginning of summer, and so we've made a great deal of strides on just continually making improvements around the school corporations, and a lot of those upkeeps and different things that happen come from the operations fund. With those capital improvements and those sorts of things. So with that, I'll take any questions on the cash flows before we move into the next items.
Mr. Irwin?
We got a meeting set, Wednesday set for the teacher negotiations.
Yeah, our next meeting with the association is Wednesday night.
Okay. Is the goal still to have it, try to get something accomplished so the retro pay will come before Christmas?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was going to work out or
Yeah,
not.
our goal and what's happened in the last few years is we've brought a lot of that stuff to you all in November, because what it allows for us to do as business office is once we receive final word as far as your guys' formal approvals on things, we're able to then try to plan out when things are going to fall into place during different pay cycles, because we like to have all of that stuff done and out to the employees prior to Christmas. And so we kind of game plan in our office of when we can roll those things out and what makes sense. And so we've been able to do that the last couple of years. And so as long as we stay on track for getting things to you guys at the November board meeting, all of that seems possible at this point.
So we'll have to have another executive meeting prior to voting in November?
We'll have to, once we get a TA that is then ratified by the association, we'll have to have another hearing to go over the tentative agreement prior to anything, you guys, as far as voting to approve the contract. So once we get all of that stuff situated, then we'll have to work with you guys to set up that hearing for the tentative agreement.
I just want to make sure it all times out, because we're getting kind of tight on time here. Just wanna make sure.
Yes, we will work very hard to make sure that it all times out, make sure that we hit the deadlines as far as you have to give certain notice and all of those things prior to. And so we're hopeful that we can get things situated here really quickly and have everything ready for you in the November board meeting.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, consideration to approve the recommendation for a bond sale. Mr. Irwin?
We actually did the due diligence call today with Stiefel, which is essentially just walking through, they asked different questions about the POS with the bond sale, and they're asking us different financial questions as far as us staying up on our continuing disclosures and all of those things. And so we had that call today with Jacob McKinney from Bose McKinney and people from Stiefel and the bond counsel that they use as far as for the sale of the bonds, which right now, with that being done today, that puts us in position to be able to sell as early as November 4th would be the earliest that we could go out to market to sell the bonds, or we could go at any point after that. But by doing the due diligence call today, that puts us in place to be able to sell as early as November 4th. As far as some of the things that, information, I know we provided you information all along the process as you guys went through your approvals. But again, working with Stiefel, there's two pieces of this that it goes along with also the timing of when we want to sell the bonds that I wanted you guys to give us your formal vote on so that we could move forward in a clear manner with Stiefel. But right now, we're able to drop our total tax rate by 2 pennies. Instead of 1 penny. I know our original goal was, hey, we want to drop it by 1 penny. We feel like we can drop it by 2 total pennies for the total rate instead of just by 1, and still not take away the flexibility or to take away the opportunity to look at future needs of the school corporations. I know that's something that as we put up that general tax statement, as far as the position of the board as it relates to the tax rate, finding opportunities to continue to drop it because of the AV growth this year and we're in the position that we're at, we're able to drop it 2 pennies instead of just 1 and not, keep us from being able to have the flexibility that we need in the future. So that's one piece of it. The other part of it is they've continued to tell us through the process that they did not think that we need to do an S&P rating to go out and get the bonds rated by the S&P. You incur a cost to get that done, and in the return, you typically get a lower interest rate when you go out to market to sell the bonds. They've done a more, I put the analysis in the board packet so that you guys could see it. It does, again, what they were telling us throughout the process, they didn't think we needed that, and again, that analysis that I put in the board packet shows that that is not necessary. We can go out to market non-rated without doing the S&P rating, still receive a good interest rate, and actually probably have a lower debt service overall for the school corporation as far as payback than if we went out and got rated because of the cost that it takes to get rated with S&P. It's a quick payback, and so it doesn't make sense to go out. So the recommendation would be to go to market non-rated instead of going rated to the market or doing a private placement with a bank. So you had 3 options there, with option 2 being non-rated into the market would be the recommendation of Dr. Sanders and I and Stiefel as well. They feel like that's the best payoff for the school corporation in terms of bond sale. So with that, just kind of recapping, the overall recommendation would be to sell the bonds non-rated in the market, to let the total tax rate, they would structure the parameters of the bond sale as far as payback that would allow us to drop the total tax rate 2 pennies. And then also permission, then I would like to sell the bonds on November 4th prior to the general election on November 5th. They think that right now market conditions look great. Again, there's no crystal ball, but they feel like we're in good position to go ahead and sell now. Why not sell now? But again, leave that up to you all as far as what you think is the right thing to do for the school corporation. So those are the 3 pieces of it. That's part of the recommendation as far as for actually selling the bonds.
And the amount of the sale?
The amount of the sale would be for $3.5 million.
To accept the superintendent and assistant superintendent's recommendation for the bond sale.
A second.
Any questions?
No, I just appreciate your notes you sent out last week, and I do definitely agree we want to go to option 2. And I think you can ask Steve for this sometime when after this is all done, but the amount that they quoted to get them rated was way lower than what it was the last time we had to do it. So I think that was a little bit off base.
Oh, as far as the total cost.
The total
of it.
cost is way lower than what, something didn't smell right there, so. But I'm fine with doing the private placement.
Now, is it likely, though, that in future years, we'll want to go back and get rated again?
Yeah, so if it's a longer-term debt or a larger bond, typically it makes sense to go out and get rated because you're going to be looking at something that might be paid back over 20 years or something like that. So it might save you a considerable amount of interest over the life of the bond as it relates to going and getting a rating. So then it makes sense within the cost that you would incur to go and get the rating with S&P versus the interest rate that you would then get on the bonds, which over time you would incur a lot less interest over the life of that bond.
I bet that's why the bond rating was higher last time, because it was a lot larger bond amount.
Yes.
I bet that's, okay, that's why then, okay, because it's a small one. All right,
And again, this wouldn't be a private placement. This would be going to the market non-rated. Private placement would
Right.
be where they do a direct sale to a bank, and that would not be what we're doing. We're going to the market non-rated.
okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Council, if there is a motion to take these collectively, can we do that, or does each one require a separate vote?
Sure that I was confident about that with the budget, but I think we can as long as we ask that there's no objection. If any member had an objection, we would want to take each one separately.
Does the board have any objections to taking these collectively? Okay. Hearing no objections, we'll turn this over to Matt.
We've had our budget hearing. We did that in September. And we've done all the prior approvals, all of the legal steps that we needed to get to this point. The Form 3 was submitted back on Gateway all the way back on August 23rd. And then the capital projects plan, the bus replacement plan were all updated to Gateway on the same day. And they're also posted on our school website. Again, the public hearing we had last month in September. So we've satisfied all of those requirements of the state. And so this would be to adopt the budget resolutions. And so there's 6 different pieces to this. And I'll just quickly talk through each one so that you guys are reminded of which these are. Again, this is something that we've done every single year. And so you guys are probably very familiar with these. But again, the first one is the Form 4. That's the ordinance or resolution of the appropriation and tax rates. And this is the form that has the same listed budgets, levies that you've seen throughout the entire process. It also shows the adopted tax rate that reflects the levy and the AV we used during the process. So when we go through the budget process, we have 85% of last year's AV. So we know that the AV affects what the actual rate is. Based on what you're asking for, also the levy looks a little bit inflated because as we went through that, I put in a up to maximum of what that bond sale that we just talked about could be. So based on the parameters of that, that will look smaller. And so once we put all the actuals into this, the tax rate and the levy that you see on this form is not going to be that high. And so that always looks inflated as we go through this process. But again, just want to continue to reiterate that the goal is to end up with a rate that's 2 pennies less than the total rate the previous year. So again, then the next one would be the capital projects plan resolution. Again, that's that resolution that lists out possible projects that may be funded through the operations fund that are capital in nature. The bus replacement plan resolution, again, that details our bus replacement plan for the next few years. And then the fourth one is the last 6 months of 2024 transfer between the education fund and operations fund. You guys know that we transfer money from the education fund to the operations fund to support the costs in operations each month. This doesn't look different than what you see in the cash flows or what we've done all of last year. It's within the statutory limits that we need to stay in. And again, so that's very similar to what you've seen all year long. And then the next one is the 2025 budget resolution. That's the resolution that grants Dr. Sanders and I authority to make changes to the 1782 notice once it arrives after our DLGF rep has done the work on our budget, so that if we need to adjust anything to hit our total tax rate goals, that we can do that. And that's something that we've done the last few years, and it's worked out nicely. And then the last one is the resolution to authorize tax anticipation warrants for 2025. This is a resolution that was new a few years ago, but it is a requirement of the DLGF that we pass this resolution if we intend to levy for tax anticipation warrants, which is something that we will need to do until we get back onto a true June-December payment timeline for all of our debts. And so that's going to take some time before we get back to that, which essentially just, again, we'll need to do the tax anticipation warrants for cash flow purposes. And so what we levy for is the little bit of interest that comes off of that. And so this is the resolution that allows us to continue to do that. Again, you'll see a resolution in November that has to do with tax anticipation warrants again as we move forward in the process to participate in the program. But this is the resolution that's a requirement of the budgeting process. So those are the 6 resolutions that are necessary to adopt the budget. And assuming you all pass this, then I will take care of getting everything uploaded and submitted to the DOGF as required within 5 days.
The Form 4, the school bus replacement resolution, the capital projects plan resolution, the resolution to approve the last 6 months transfer, the 2025 budget resolution, and the resolution to authorize tax anticipation warrants.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Of course, we had these in the board packet, and we've been through this process numerous times. Is there any final questions on any of these?
For the record, we are anticipating that the rate for next year will be what? 2 cents less than it is this year, which is what?
So this year was $1.05. The goal will be $1.03.
Thank you.
That is the total tax rate between the debt service and the operations fund.
Right, got it.
Which are our two tax levied funds.
Got it.
Anything further? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, now permission to surplus 2 semi-trailers. Mr. Irwin?
So now that the new band trailer is in use, and you guys have probably seen the phenomenal pictures that go along with their win at Bands of America and as they're marching on to state here. So with that, we're now able to get rid of the 2 old semi-trailers that have been in use in prior years, and so we would like to move on from those and with surplusing them and then put them on the auction site. Also, there's the possibility that there may be another program that may be interested in them. So if there's another public school corporation that's interested in one of the trailers, I may bring forth a resolution for a direct sale to them, to you guys. And so if it's something that could help out another program, that would be great. But if not, what we'll do is we'll put them on the public surplus auction site and auction them off. So I'm asking for your permission to surplus the 2 old semi-trailers.
Enthusiastically move that we surplus those 2 trailers.
Really second that. It'd be so nice to get rid of those.
Can we add like a permission if Mr. Irwin can find another school that can use it to go ahead and make that happen without a vote?
Do a resolution that has to be approved by
Okay.
us and the
That
other
would just
school
simplify the
corporation.
process, because
Yeah.
that one black one
Unfortunately,
was
no.
donated in 2001, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be nice if we could.
It was donated, yeah, it was donated, and it was hanging on then. Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's basically like the land that we gave to the town. You know, we had to have a resolution. They had to have a resolution. And
With other equipment that we've surplus before, just not entirely sure whether or not that other school corporation is interested in the trailer or not. So we'll finalize that, and if I need to, I'll bring it to you, and if not,
Weight equipment or something we did before.
it was a field goal post,
Yeah.
and then there was few other things I think we brought in the past that was similar in that way, where we did a direct sale to another school corporation that needed it, and so if it works out to help out someone else, that's great, and if not, then we'll auction it off.
more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we are going to consider to approve an agreement with Jennifer Whitley Consulting, LLC. Dr. Sanders.
Yes, so we have the need for a licensed person to provide bilingual speech and language services related to helping us work with students and families for special education IEPs. So this person would work with us at the following rates: bilingual comprehensive speech language evaluations at $125 per hour, bilingual speech and language screenings, $75 per hour, bilingual translation and interpretation, $125 per hour, mileage reimbursement at the standard that the IRS approves, and then anything that would be an urgent turnaround would be $200 per hour, and these are paid for through Medicaid funds, so we'd recommend your approval.
Move approval of the agreement with Jennifer Whitley and Consulting.
Seconded. Any discussion?
And I appreciate all the time
Yeah, Jennifer Anderson worked on
and
this.
put into that. Yeah, that was very, very detailed.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now consideration to approve the Community Foundation grant agreement.
The Bloomington and Monroe County Community Foundation gives us an annual grant of $20,000 to pay for our family engagement coordinator, and that's Sybil Baker. And if you don't know Sybil, she is a go-getter. She helps us, our schools, in so many valuable ways. If you want to get something done, call Sybil. The family engagement coordinator works closely with school administrators, teachers, staff, parents, PTO volunteers, and community partners to organize, manage, advertise, and help implement events that brings families into the campus. So one of the biggest ways that she helps me is with the Edgewood Showcase, and a very valuable member. This is not a new position, and we're very thankful that for the Community Foundation, not only how they support us as a school corporation, but many nonprofits throughout the county. So I recommend your approval.
I recommend approval of the Community Foundation's grant agreement.
Seconded.
Seconded, yeah.
Is any further discussion? I really appreciate all the work that they do throughout the entire community. They're just a great, wonderful group to help out everyone. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now the superintendent's report, Dr. Sanders.
Yes, a lot of good things in this report, which I'm sure you've heard some of this news, but our Marching Mustangs band placed first in the Bands of America competition, and I had the pleasure of going up to Lucas Oil Stadium and watching their performance. And as usual, they do an awesome job, and that's a national competition, and they came in first place in their class. Also, they were recognized at the Ellisville Chamber of Commerce Awards night. Nice recognition by the chamber of the hard work that our students and staff put into the band performances every year. And then also the good news is last Saturday was a semi-state competition at Decatur Central High School, and our Marching Mustangs are going back to state, which will be November 9th, and that'll also be at Lucas Oil Stadium. I would like to share with the board that the Ellisville Chamber of Commerce Educator of the Year Award went to Lori Majors this year, who's a fifth grade teacher at Edgewood Intermediate School. And Lori is just so well deserving. They spoke about how Lori is well known for, to this day, going to student activities once those students get up into junior high and high school, and some occasions even beyond, where she goes to an event to support those students, and that's pretty amazing. We're very proud of Lori, and we love her very much. Third thing is, coming up this Wednesday, we'll be having our Edgewood Business Leaders Advisory Team luncheon and meeting. And this year, the group who spoke tonight about the Coffee Corral will be speaking again on Wednesday. But we will also have our student business leaders from our marketing team, ILC Design, and some interns who will be giving, what I like to compare this to is like, a business giving a report to their stakeholders. And so they'll be giving an update, just like you heard tonight, to our business leaders who are coming from all over the community, Cook Medical, Smithville, IU Health, Ivy Tech, and all of our partners, several local banks. And we also want to promote the idea of networking for the students. So with each presentation, there are a couple questions that they'll be asking for input from the local business leaders to help guide them for where they want to go, take their business in our community. Next, we had a great fall season. Our girls soccer team won the WIC conference. They were the champions this year. And our cross-country teams also did very well. The boys finished fourth place in a semi-state competition, and they advanced to state as a team. Our girls finished sixth, and the good news there is that two of our students, Hannah Crane and Ellie Vegetis, advanced to state. And so we're very proud of those two students, as well as all the other students who participated in fall sports. It was just a great fall season. And then finally, I just wanted to report on our enrollment. Our fall ADM is up 37 students from the previous year. And as you could see from 2018 until now, you could see an upward trend, a couple ups and downs, but generally a positive trend, and really the highest enrollment we've had since fall of 2018. And so that's pretty exciting news. And then on the back, just for your own information, we won't go over it tonight, but for your own information, I wanted to share with you that the enrollment by grade levels. So you can go through and compare those different grade levels. So that's my report.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to look at grade from year to year too, and see how, kindergartners in 1 year or first graders, how many in first grade next year and such. So that's great information.
That the demographic report that we asked for, those numbers just came in today. So we are going to meet with the gentleman who did the report, Matt and I, just to talk it over first, and then we'll have him come in and give a report to the school board. And then finally, 6 years ago tomorrow, I was hired as superintendent. So it's been a great, amazing 6 years. So thank you.
Yes, that school corporation has come a very long way in the last 6 years, so appreciate you very much. Okay. RBBEA comments. We have Brandy Abel tonight.
Good evening. I just, I was thinking about what to say this evening, and I just came in here feeling total pride, starting with the Coffee Corral. Alan Martindale was one of my first graders. So excited to see the places he's going, and then seeing through the appointments, Braylon and Alistair, just other former kiddos doing different things in the high school. Hannah and Ellie, love those girls, had them too, so congratulations to them. That family, they are runners. I want to congratulate Lori, because my son had her as a fourth grade teacher, so it's just exciting to hear all these things. Dr. Sanders, congratulations on your anniversary as well. Driving here and taking the new path, it's the awareness of the high school transformation as well as the preschool. During fall break, I came back and I thought, wow, a lot was done, but you can't see it from the outside, but the first phase is now back in the elementary, and we love our new rooms. So thank you. I hope you get a chance to see them. I know EIS is a little farther ahead than we are, but we worked hard over fall break to get those rooms ready for the kids, and they love them. One of my first graders said, "I finally have my own space," when they saw when she saw her desk. So that was exciting. We, as Mr. Irwin said, we are continuing our bargaining this Wednesday, so hopefully we will have a contract soon. And just again, due to Dr. Sanders' work, we are just in the midst of HRS. We're in the middle of the whole new appraisal process and working through that with our admin. So yeah, a lot going on right now.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're to board member comments. I never remember what I do the previous month, so we'll start with Mr. Darnell. He always likes to go first.
Well, just congratulations to all the band and the kids going to state, and just wonderful to see our kids be successful. And again, I'm just wow to these kids that did this Mustang moment tonight. It's just unreal. I mean, their presentation was way beyond seniors in high school, I thought. So Jerry, it's working out good, isn't it? Thanks to you for staying with us all these years, and hopefully we'll have 4 or 5 more of you, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, but I'm just always amazed these students who are in high school get up and they look more calm, cool, and collected than I feel. And I don't know how they do it. They do a great job.
Thanks, Sunk, for the update on the Coffee Corral. And yeah, I'm amazed by the young men, and I've known a couple of them for a number of years. Cross country, terrific season and really exciting. The soccer girls had a great season. Congratulations to Lori, a good friend and what a teacher. Sue and I were out walking the dogs on Saturday as the band was getting ready to go, and the semi with the new trailer and the other trailers were just getting started, and so we were treated to a fanfare of the horns of the trucks as they were pulling out. It was great because the excitement, you could just hear it. And for everybody, make sure you get out and vote this between now and 2 weeks, or the next week, yeah, 8 days. So.
I'm just going to piggyback off what Ms. Abel said. I can't match her enthusiasm. That's awesome. And my son had Miss Majors too, and she left an impact on him. So congrats to Miss Majors on her great honor. Thanks to Mr. Irwin, Dr. Sanders, for continuing to be good with our budget and to be able to drop the tax rate by 2 cents. That's appreciative. And I'm glad we're going to get those bonds issued before Election Day.
Thank you. Again, I'll just echo what they say, and I appreciate everybody coming tonight. Again, keep that Ellisville RDC in your thoughts if it comes up, and if anybody has any questions about that, let me know, or suggestions. And I do appreciate the relationship that Ellisville has with RBB schools. I mean, it's a really great relationship. School resource officers is a prime example, and so I actually am looking forward to working with them through their process. And again, the TIF districts aren't necessarily bad as long as they're used the right way. They can actually bring development to where development would not have occurred and without it. So they have some very good points as well. With that, I will thank you again for coming, and this meeting's adjourned.